What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Betty. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're not so new, you are also welcome. So in today's video, I will be talking about first times. So I'll be sharing my experiences and I'll be sharing first time experiences of first time doing things. Whichever way you want to see it or you want to put it. So in no particular order, I'm going to be starting with my first time of experiencing grief and loss. Now, grief and loss are a normal part of life which everyone at some point or the other would have to go through. But the thing is, nobody really teaches you how to prepare for it or how to react to it. There is no one way of how to react to grief or react to loss, to the loss of a person or to the loss of a thing. Grief and loss are you're just never prepared. You're never prepared for it. And for me, I would say the first time I truly experienced it deeply would be when I lost my friend Alima. I once made a video about it. You can check it out. So prior to this time, I had lost people like family members, my grandparents, but it didn't really hit because I was quite young. I was younger when all of these ones occurred, when they happened. But this one was the first time I was experiencing the death of someone that was so close to me, my friend. She was one of the first few friends I made when I got on campus, and so when I learned of a person about 3 months after we met, it was a shock. It was a rude shock because I'm like, how is this even possible? And it just made me realize that nobody really teaches you how to grieve, because for me it was just a burst of emotions, really. I was scared, I was unhappy, I was sad. And then, unlike how people will say, oh, when you see the things like the property of people that they lost, they love to keep it because it reminds them. I couldn't do that. I had to throw away some of my friends' belongings that were with me at the time, because I couldn't stand seeing them. It felt like seeing those things brought back memories that I didn't want to, not because I do not love her, but because I did not want to grieve her, but I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't help seeing her things. I had to throw them all away. So what really teaches you how to deal with loss or with grief of a person, especially. Moving on, we have here your first job and your first salary. Oh, okay, this one is quite interesting. So my first official job, because I said official because I've been earning money from making sales for my mom, making sales for teachers at school. So I would say my first official job would be after my mommy. I was talking about my first job and my first salary. My first official job was I think I was a front desk officer, receptionist, what you call the receptionist, and that was after secondary school. I was waiting for admission, and my parents were like, okay, you know what, instead of just sitting at home doing nothing, why don't you go apply for a job at this school? One thing about me, I have always known that teaching job is not for me. I can teach in a school. I don't know how, dealing with kids, students is something that I just cannot stand. I tried it once when my mom was running a tutorial center. I was teaching children their kindergarten classes, and I was always so pissed. I don't have the patience to deal with students and pupils, so I just knew that teaching wasn't going to be for me. So my first job was a receptionist, and my first salary was 10,000 naira. Yes, at that time, this was 2018. So my first salary was 10,000 naira. My first job. My first official job, a receptionist, front desk officer. Yep. Next question says my first solo trip on a plane. Well, I've never been on a plane before. I'm looking forward to that, but truth be told, I've never been on a plane before. Am I ashamed of that? No. Do I love to experience it? Yes. I look forward to that experience. I look forward to it so much. I have a passport that is yet to be stamped. God, do it for me this year. Let my passport get stamped. Let them be seeing stamps everywhere. My passport is a virgin passport. That's what I have. Under the ground, unless somebody have not gone to
Oh, sorry, don't cry.
as well, God will do it. So that one I cannot answer. I've never been on a plane before, so I cannot really talk about first solo trip on a plane, whatever. Yeah. Next question says, when you made your first million naira. Now this question is one that, so many people, when they hear others talk about, oh, I made my first million at 19, I made my first million at 16, it usually brings two effects in people. One, it either motivates you and inspires you to know that things like this are very possible. You can do this. If somebody can do it, you can do it. Or it gets you the effect of feeling pressured or feeling bad that you are yet to achieve this. The thing about milestones like that is there are different factors. For some people, they'll make their first million at 20. Some people will make their first million at 30. Some people will make their first million at 17, at 20, whatever age it is that you make your first million. Who even said it that you must make your first million? How did that become a thing? But here's the thing. Making your first million is not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad achievement. But at the same time, how about you celebrate making your first hundreds of thousands? Celebrate having your first hundreds. Celebrate having your first just do not see to everybody. I always say that achievement is what you make of it. For some people, getting on a plane is an achievement. For some people, it isn't. That is the same way making your first million naira is. It's a great deal, right? But it shouldn't be the base or the foundation of your life choices or your decisions. Because so many people, because in a bid to make their first million naira, they will do anything to make sure that they get there. But at the same time, we must consider that there are different factors that affect the achievements of people. Right? For some people, they manage to be at the right place with the right people, and somehow all of these things just come together and they're able to achieve this milestone. For some people, it might take later for them, right? You might take later for you to achieve this. It doesn't make you less of a person, because there's so many people that are in a bid to make their first million, or because they are yet to make their first million naira, they feel less of themselves. They feel less accomplished, which shouldn't be. Look, as long as you're making daily choices that make you better, it doesn't matter if you're yet to make your first million. Some people will never even make their first million. I'm not saying that should be you, but do not let that be the focus. If in the process of making progress in your life, you hit that milestone, good for you. But that in no way should make you less of yourself. Do not feel like your sense of achievement or your sense of fulfillment should come from achieving first million or for whatever it is. There's a timeline for everybody. I haven't made my first million naira yet, and it doesn't make me less of who I am. It doesn't make me less of an achiever. It doesn't make me less of an individual. Yes, there are people who have managed to achieve this earlier. Good for them. Some people would achieve this feat later on. But at the end, what really matters is your how, which is your process and the progress you are making. For many people who achieve this, who attain this point of making their first million, which is a thing of joy, there are different factors. It could be that they had access to information that you do not have. It could be that they met people who helped them. It could be that their parents saw an opportunity, they were able to tap into the opportunity, and it happened for them. Whichever way it happens, people would only come and tell you, I made my first million naira, but they will not tell you some of the details that is entailed in that milestone for them. And then you begin to sulk and feel like, hey, Jesus, look at my mates making their first million naira. Me, I've not made my own. Is it not your same mates that are in the mortuary, that are down below the earth? Do not let things like this, yes, as an achievement, it's great. Me, I believe that achievement is what you make of it. Why don't you start, before you start complaining, I've not made my first million naira. Haven't you made your first 10,000 naira? Haven't you made your first 20,000 naira? Your first 100,000 naira? Celebrate this one till you get to that big point. As young people, we tend to want to be pressured by, the achievements of others, that we are blind to seeing ours. There's so many things that you should see as achievements for yourself, but you will not see it because, it is not seen, like it is not elaborated by the world, or society has not painted it as elaborate or something to be celebrated. Celebrate yourself. You made your first 50,000 naira. Celebrate yourself. You made your first 100,000 naira. Celebrate yourself. With that, I've come to the end of this video. Not everyone will achieve a milestone at the same time. Know this and know peace.